Growing up in a small town, I learned that connections go beyond blood. They're built through shared experiences, friendships, and the moments we celebrate together.
My parents went to college. My grandpa even went to Utah State Agricultural College, so we're a family that values education. When I got into BYU, I really loved the American Heritage class.
Okay.
It caught my attention.
Okay.
It was my class I looked forward to. Just really laid a lot out there for me that I hadn't understood before. And really proud to be an American and wanted to share that in the education system. I happened to be like the only kid my age in the whole area. But I think I always enjoyed that kind of role. And so it's not super surprising. I ended up in education where I could work with young people. And Garn Coombs, who was the department chair over secondary education, pulled me aside and he said, "Lynn, I think you could be a good teacher, but you're not marketable. What you're doing isn't going to work really well." And I remember that summer after I'd received the assignment before the school year started, which was 1989, every time I'd drive by Lehi, I'd get this gnawing in the pit of my stomach. I found that sometimes they were, what do we have to do to get a grade? They were so focused on that, they'd forgotten to have fun learning. And he said, "Okay, watch what the administrators do for a few months and let's talk in the spring." 34 years of counseling. If I could pick maybe the 8 things that matter the most to healthy human beings, a mentor would be one of those things. I felt like they had the ability to connect with students way more, particularly over a period of years. Most times of the year, there's not really an average day. We probably spend at the junior high level about a third of our time helping kids plan for the future. At the high school level, that comes close to half the time. But I think we have an opportunity and really a stewardship to be the parent at school. Yeah, really a big difference. Back in the day, we didn't have a lot of suicide issues. We now do QPR, which is question, persuade, and refer for all the sophomores, so they understand how to help a friend or a family member that might be dealing with suicidal thoughts. Conflict is still there. It's just we don't deal with it physically.
So mental health now is something that obviously we talk a lot more about nowadays, right? And my guess is it's always been, so even back in the day, it's always been part of things. We just didn't maybe know how to identify it. I remember a kid at school that was quote unquote weird, and looking back, it's, he was probably autistic.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We didn't know that word.
Absolutely.
We didn't understand what that was. But looking back, it's, oh no, he totally was.
But I've learned that if you can educate students about what's happening, the bullying goes way down. The other aspect of it you asked was, has it become worse? And the answer is absolutely yes. There's plenty of research that shows that some of the behaviors that we do today cause more mental health problems.
It's okay to play a video game, to do different things, but are you also going out and running around too?
And we can do much better with mental health when our brain chemistry's right. I would say when cell phones first came out and junior high kids started coming to school with cell phones, I thought, this is crazy, this is awful, it's ruining their lives. Let's help these kids have the technology, but learn to use it and learn to manage it instead of becoming addicted to it.
And so when they went to BYU and they're off on their own, this was the first taste of freedom they had. And all of a sudden, they learned about a new video game and they played all day, skipping classes, and actually end up failing some of these classes, right? Because they just didn't do it, right?
The idea is we live in a really self-indulgent world. One of the things I love about education is no matter what you're teaching or what you're doing, you're working with people. And the people always change. Probably the fact that you can't control things you'd like to control. And that's a good thing.
Sure. But
you can't control if parents are nice or not to their kids. You can't control if teachers are all prepared and patient and doing all the things that you'd like them to be doing. You can't control what the kids ate for breakfast or whether they got enough sleep.
Sure.
What you can control is your attitude, your willingness to help. You can try to create the best environment possible purposefully. And try to give them that 6 or 7 hours there at school the best experience that you can. I've learned that parents that keep trying are successful. I think sometimes parents feel overwhelmed and feel like they're failing. They actually rarely are, in my view, as I've watched. I also think that parents don't always recognize that they have a right to know, call it inspiration, call it whatever you want, what their kids need. And I've learned to trust that. And one day he just blew his top and he said, "Dad, you never see anything good that I do." And the studies are really clear. Really controlling parents create really bad kids, right? And really bad adults. And you go clear to the other side of the spectrum. If you're really lenient and really laissez-faire as a parent, that creates terrible people too. It's a tragedy when young lives end too soon, and especially if it could be prevented.
As I've learned in life, I'm not that smart. but if I have friends and different things, but together I can do a lot of things with other good people.
It's about, I believe, public education, people being in the same room together, learning, interacting, talking, communicating. That's what our society needs, is that ability. And we're losing some of that. We see it in politics. We see it in some of the other hate things that go on.
Because we're so opinionated, right? And the other side, whatever side you're on, is the devil, right? I mean,
yes.
They're evil, they're bad. And that's not true.